This is where I play sad music.
Sad montage.
Yes, sad. Nicely done, mate.
Oh, buff out! Yeah.
Even though she's a little crumpled, she's still pretty.
Crumpled.
She is a little crumpled. You're pretty strong, you know.
So at the actual event, I will admit, I didn't want to take like the closest look. I'm still trying to process everything and figure it out, brush off the weekend. Definitely big sucks. It happens. It's racing. I will say, I don't think anyone did anything on purpose. I think it's racing. Stuff happens. Do I still think it was very dumb and uncalled for and maybe other things could have been done to avoid it? Yep, but it's part of the game. Unfortunately though, for my car, it's taken quite the beating. Really, all of my FD career so far, which is only 2 events in. So the first event, we got punted into the keyhole.
Whoa! Boss! Rips up into the side of Collete Davis.
Got that fixed. That was on the passenger side. And then me testing at E-Town just a month ago now, had a really hard hit. So already coming into the weekend, this entire top piece at the front of the car was replaced and stolen off of another car. So this was brand new. Towers had to be pulled, frame had to be straightened, subframe mounting point also had to be pulled and straightened. From the first accident, towers were about 2 inches in and up on this one side. So like this car is going through it. And before I bought this car from Donati, it was already also crashed in this same corner like twice. So when I first bought it from Jeff, I actually took it to a frame shop. That was one of the first things that I did. So this side has seen a lot of damage. And unfortunately, I think this last hit has definitely been the worst so far.
Interestingly, through second, and here
Okay.
come, whoa, boy.
Jeez, come on.
Like already, if we start, let's start on the main side that we're talking about. This entire area and this part of the car is pushed all the way back to like where the cage base plates are. It's pretty bad. This actually goes all the way into the footwell and it crinkled the entire footwell, where right now, like getting the car out of the trailer, you can't push the clutch in all the way because the floor has moved that much further forward, which is pretty bad. Our door, everything is just, well, door is falling off at this point. The entire car is sitting like this. Especially if you look at it from the back, you can notice that. But look at this. Footwell area, kind of destroyed. Kind of gives you an idea, this plate right here, of how far in this entire side just got rebashed. And it is cutting through, like right where that base plate is welded. The entire thing is shifted over. The entire footwell area is crinkled up. The clutch stop is way further now. Just everything is not great and shifted over. So this is pretty bad. The impact definitely carried the damage over a lot more than the previous one, which I was kind of expecting right when it happened anyway, because like how many times can a car really be totaled? Well, the door doesn't even sit on right. How many times can you restretch a car and expect it to still be okay? But obviously that hit was super dramatic. And it's pretty bad. I haven't seen it on a lift yet, but that is very dramatically different compared to the last crash. And then the piece that I said that we replaced already from another car, is this entire corner right here. But this time, where it was crinkled in, it was way further up here. So obviously that entire part needs to be replaced or chopped off, but I think the damage goes way further than that. You can almost look in, you can see everything in here is slightly shifted, tilted this way. And something I only just now realized that I don't think we noticed at the track is that all the way on the passenger side, this is pushed in, flexed, and pretty bad. So originally, before actually unloading the car, I was thinking we just had to do a crazy, like, full frame rail, full left hand side of the car, chop off and re-weld up to the firewall. I don't even know if that's gonna be possible now. We're gonna get it on the lift and take a closer look, but now that I see the damage is pushed all the way to this side, that's kind of crazy. And even from the last accident, the transmission area was already crinkled and kind of pushed in, so yeah, not looking too hot, but definitely worse than before. The one thing that is not worse than before is just the movement of the actual tower itself. So this time, after the last accident, I was running the car with a tower brace on it, and I think that actually held these towers more in their exact spot than the previous wreck, because it's probably only within an inch moved versus last time it was an easy 2 in, 2 up, and it was actually closer when we first looked at the car after it happened. So that is one thing that, you know, I'm always gonna run strut bars on drift cars always in the front going forward. You can see here it completely split this area, which, like I said, we were planning to just replace this entire thing. So that is one benefit, is like maybe if we do have to replace this one corner, and that's possible, maybe the other side tower wise isn't that bad because we had that brace on it. So that should be some good news. But yeah, not really looking the best. Lost a mirror. I don't really know how, but there are marks on the car that go all the way up to here. This door is pretty much destroyed. There's tons of just dents and scrapes on it, obviously, the entire door. I am really impressed, and shout out to Big Duck Club for this side skirt survival of the century. I think our splitters have definitely helped. These are some pretty gnarly ABS splitters that we try and put on all the comp cars that go further underneath the car. So these are like pretty freaking strong, and if I didn't have these within both the crashes, even honestly like one of the first events in Atlanta with the car going off and getting punted, I think my Big Duck Club side skirts would be possibly destroyed. So between the side skirts themselves being sturdy and this, somehow they have mostly survived, which is pretty cool. This entire side of the car is just beat up, scratched everywhere, pushed over. The carbon roof did actually wrinkle like on impact, but luckily I think it's only this one little scratch area. So hopefully I can still use this chassis and keep my carbon roof, because a lot of panel bond on that and I don't think it's coming off. Really regretting that part. So like if I ever put a carbon roof on another drift car, no panel bond, just rivets. So if this happens and I total a chassis and need to move my carbon roof, I'm able to do that. That will not be possible with this one. Coming from the back, at the track, I didn't think anything was severely damaged on the driver rear side. But now that I'm like looking at the car, it's pretty badly tilted down one side, which I feel like it's always had a little tilt to it, but it looks extra dramatic now. So maybe there's just something that like when we actually did it on the lift, I'll be able to see more clearly, and maybe it's just a shaft that got bent or something up top for the mount points of it. Who knows? I mean, it was on the side of the wall, and then even just getting the car off of the wall, like they did as gentle of a job as they possibly could, like the entire team, Kevin working with them to get it down as well as possible. They did their best, so, but it still had to get yanked off the side of board sliding the wall. So maybe there's something we just haven't missed, or something that we did miss, and it's more affected in the rear than I thought. So that might be an issue. The rest of the damage, I think we're just gonna end up seeing when we put it on the lift. I'm a little scared because it's already a little bendy underneath there, like back towards transmission area. Had a crinkle in it before. I definitely think that it's bigger crinkle now. But now, like I said, I'm more concerned about what I just saw in the engine bay, so we will see. But, we'll load it on the lift and take a closer look and see what we might have missed. Yeah, I just
I'll
don't.
fucking strap the Century right here and I'll yank this right out.
That we just replaced that piece though. Like how?
I'll yank it right off.
Yanked her off. Yanked her off, dude. Yeah, get the Century. We'll do a little tug, and we'll be fine. Bye, Mike. You're my hero. Everything's fine. Everything's fine, Kim.
Everything's fine. Great.
Everything's fine, Kim. Come on, old girl. We're gonna fix you right up.
Look a little sus, Alberto.
We just gotta take everything off and see what we're dealing with. But right off the bat, if you look at the driver's side tire, 11.5 inches from the ground, and then we go on this side, 14 inches off the ground. So it's 2.5 inches higher. Basically where we were at last time. It was 2 inches higher on this side than the other one, and now it's 2.5. So this side went up even higher than the first time before the previous fix. So I don't know. It's looking pretty wrecked. Well, I'm looking at the bottom of the car on the back because we already seen the front, but looking at the rear, she rolled the wall right with the arm. So I had the whole weight of the car, and surprisingly enough, the arm is perfectly straight. Even the bracket, which bent with the last crash, is unaffected this time. So that's a pretty strong arm.
I think this area was a little pinched before, but it definitely looked way worse. You can see where the transmission bracket is. It's just smushed up the metal even more, right where this mounts up. Like it looks like it's literally been folded right here. Where the transmission bracket is, you can tell it's this entire thing just been pinched and moved up. This is what I was really worried about on impact, was making sure our oil pan was unscathed. It did scrape the subframe right here and push it up here, and has like a little bit of scrapes on the oil pan. Luckily, nothing went through, but that would have been really bad. Hey, not the G-force, not the G-force. I didn't even notice that. That's pretty bad.
Okay, so I found a point here that's concerning. And is that right now the drive shaft is basically touching this side because it got pushed that way.
Oh yeah, I see it.
You see the scrape on it right now?
Yeah.
So that means...
So this is basically like touching right here. So,
Yeah.
but you can see where it was pinched over too from the transmission bracket, and the entire car is just
You know
that way,
what's holding
you know?
everything together is this bracket. It's like... it just squished there. This kind of held it in place. This side kind of held it there, but the whole thing is kind of shift that way. Damn.
This looks like a proper Ebisu car. Like a Japan Ebisu missile car that's been through like 10 Matsuris.
So how would they like pull this side of the car out?
I don't think you can. Like I think literally at this point there's just too much. There's too many points that like you can't just pull from the front. Like there's not one corner that you can pull from and expect like that force to translate all the way down the entire car. Like the entire thing has been shifted over. And even what has been pulled previously in this one corner, it's been pulled like how many times now? And now, as much as I would love to like finish the season with this chassis, not care about it, just like do the thing, I feel like all the time, money, and effort it would take to get this even drivable again, it raises the risk that now at the next event, I have like a small tap or like something happens and it's minor and I'm out for the whole weekend because this chassis just cannot sustain any major damage. So that even makes it less worth it to then put all that time and effort in, get to the track, and then be out for something minor. Because at this point, I just gotta go in being ready for anything. And that's sort of what we need to prepare for. And I don't think that this chassis is gonna be capable of that. And I think even if we put so much work into it, it still wouldn't be great. and it's so bad. It's so far gone. So we'll see. I currently do not have another chassis or have another one in mind, but I'm leaning more towards that because I think the damage is just too substantial everywhere. Next step would be, yeah, finding another chassis. I already am gonna start immediately looking at that. Shout out to Marlon. He mentioned that if we did find a chassis and we did cage kits in time, he'd be down to help us do that install. His shop like an hour and a half away from here, which would be amazing. Marlon's super busy always, so that would be awesome, but it's still just gotta find a car, which there are plenty out there. I'm not really worried about that, but yeah, just a lot of little things and logistics to figure out, because even when you find another chassis, it's still more than just the cage. Like the whole rear has to be cut a specific way for a quick change, mounting for the battery, fuel cell, even like the seat, brackets, other little things, but I think that's the direction we're leaning more towards at the moment. So if any of you guys maybe know of someone in the greater Orlando, South Florida area that happens to have an E46 with an FD spec cage in it, comment below, let us know, because this video will be posted today, same day we're filming it, and yeah, we're on the lookout. Because if it already had a cage, that'd be great, but it also needs to be FD spec, and I just don't want like a really bad cage. So yep, I think that is going to be the direction we're going. Fingers crossed we can get that in time.
Another thing that I'm glad here, it kind of worked out, but you'll see something that really caught my attention here is that you did also grind over the fuel lines, which could have been ripped and caused a huge fire, and I'm so glad it didn't. But like, oh man, that would have been bad. Look, it's scraped right on the bracket. The fuel line itself kind of scrape a little bit, but it has this little rubber protector that maybe helped too. But I'm so glad it could have been much worse than it wasn't, so that's great. But unfortunately for the car wise, it looks bad, and I don't think it's salvageable. It's too bent.
All right. Well, giddy up, partner.
Oh, let's keep taking stuff apart.
Deja vu. Do it all over again. Run it back.
Ready to pull the engine out. Everything's gonna come off as one piece: oil cooler, turbo, intake manifold, alternator. Everything's coming out together, where I figured how to do it last time, so this time I can do it a lot faster. So let's set this thing up and pull it up, see if it comes out. Now that everything's kind of like crunched in, so it might fight a little bit, but it should be good. The whole car literally, so I don't even know if it's repairable, to be honest. It's really bad, especially right here. Before it was kind of messed up a little bit, but now I made it even worse, where I don't think we can bring it back. We need another car.